So there was an engineer who worked at a large corporation, and he was conducting radar-related research. And in doing so, during some of these experiments, one of his candy bars started melting, which sparked an idea. Grabbed some corn kernels and conducted more experiments, and popcorn came about. Through this radar-related research and experiments, thus he stumbled on a revolutionary idea, an invention. Thus the microwave oven was born. This engineer, Percy Spencer, right, through an unpredicted circumstance, created and invented a revolutionary item, one that is in many, many homes and apartments and living spaces. So why do I start off with that story? Well, first off, what's going on, y'all? This is Chris Saunders, aka CSProductions.29, and you're loved, you're valued, and you're appreciated. And the reason I start off with that story is through an unpredicted circumstance, an idea came about. So we're going to talk about Break My Heart by Lipa. So let's talk about it. The reason being, I reacted to the story, A Revolution of Blackpink, and she was mentioned within that song, right? Or within that documentary of them, stating how she helped influence or get them exposure to the Western side of the world. And from there, there weren't any Dua Lipa songs that came to mind that I could remember. And I got a few suggestions. Break My Heart was one of them. So I reacted to that a couple weeks ago and tried uploading it last week. And in doing so, it was blocked. Just before I could even post it publicly, it was blocked. And so thankful to YouTube on the front side, letting me know that, hey, this video is blocked, so it prevents getting an actual copyright strike. Like, all of these videos are, copyrighted. This is done. I love finding out more about the new music I haven't heard, and building this community with you all. So YouTube blocked it on the front end. And so I was like, oh, that's a bummer. But thankful that they did it on the front end. But then through that circumstance, an idea came about. Hey, let's talk about it. For any songs that are going to be blocked by YouTube due to, stricter copyright policies, or whatever the case may be, even though reaction videos is a segment that can be reviewed, let's talk about the video. So that's what we're going to do today. And I made notes. There are three key aspects. One from that reaction, and going back and editing the video and seeing my reaction several times through the editing process. But there were three key things that stood out to me from the song "Break My Heart" by Dua Lipa. So number one, the video production and visual effects was amazing. They are A1, top of the line. Absolutely loved it. And it wasn't just, I would say, the very contrasty poppy colors that stood out. Just all the different wardrobe changes, the choreography, everything, but more so just so many of the transitions and camera effects there, or just camera techniques rather than effects of just the pan whips and transitions from speed ramping from really closely zoomed in to zoomed out and back in. I would love to see it behind the scenes, and potentially, because I think more so than we think, there are instances where some of these shots are done in one take or a couple takes, and it's not just computer editing and things like that. It's actual sets and techniques that production companies are using to create this visual experience. It was absolutely beautiful and so amazing. Loved the visual production and setup there. Number two, so her age. I was thinking, based off of the story Revolution of Blackpink, that she helped Blackpink get it into the western side of the hemisphere, western side of the world. I was thinking, and also from comments, that she's clearly a big star in the UK and really worldwide, but from the UK, that she was going to be an older individual. And I was looking in the video, I'm like, well, one, she looks good, right? And I was like, but in my head, I'm thinking she's got to be older because she helped Blackpink when they were younger. And so I'm trying to add up the timeline. I'm like, maybe she's late 30s, early 40s, but she doesn't look like it at all. And so I was going to wait until we could have the conversation in the comments, but because the video got blocked, I looked it up last week. I saw she was 25. And so realigning the timeline in my head, clearly she's, I guess, been a star for a long time, and it makes a lot more sense because my guess was she looks later 20s, but I was trying to add up the timeline, and so I guess she's later 30s, maybe early 40s, although she doesn't look it, but she's 25. So clearly she's a star and has been a star for, I'd imagine, a long time. But then also that melody and kind of main line of like dun 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 dun, that sounded really familiar. And it could have been like with potentially some of these other songs I've reacted to, where in malls or just retail shops, and you're not really paying attention to the music, but you hear it subliminally, or out at a restaurant. I don't know if that's why it kind of sounded a little familiar, but more so, I'm curious if it's a borrowed melody or kind of like a borrowed beat. And one thing that came to mind in the reaction video was, what's that Taylor Swift song? Look What You Made Me Do. Where when that was released, I don't know if it was intentional, but I remember it being a big deal because whenever that song by Taylor Swift was released, Look What You Made Me Do, it is literally a carbon copy of like I'm Too Sexy or I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt by that one band. And I remember it being a big deal, and that band saying like, oh, they're honored and things like that Taylor Swift would utilize one of their songs. But I don't know if it was on the behind the scenes talked about, but it was literally like a carbon copy of that band song. And so I'm curious if this Break My Heart by Dua Lipa was a little bit of a remix or spin-off of another song, or for whatever reason, subliminally, I may have heard it in a retail shop or somewhere in a restaurant. So those were the three main takeaways, I would say, from the Dua Lipa song, Break My Heart. It was super catchy, love the visual effects. She executed the song and the choreography extremely well. Clearly a big star and an amazing artist with a large budget and team behind her. But kind of moving forward, I'm not going to write off, because I did receive several other Dua Lipa song suggestions, and feel free to leave more in the comment section down below. But because that video was hard blocked, you don't want to risk, obviously channel getting struck or deleted. What I'll do is create this series, kind of tying it back to the invention. Something new has been birthed here on the channel, right? And it's going to be a series of Let's Talk About It. So I'll still check out some songs, but as potentially other songs maybe get hard blocked, we'll add them and just do a much shorter kind of quick review, maybe take a few key takeaways from the video and the song that we'll talk about, and let's have a conversation. So thank you all for the time. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know in some feedback. Are you gonna like the series that we'll kind of start doing videos here and there on Let's Talk About It? Because I still just want to say thank you for the suggestions, and I get to them, and sometimes they take a little bit of time, but in instances where it gets blocked as well, clearly there's time and effort that went into on both ends. And so I want to additionally take the time and create a platform where we can talk about it. So thank you again so much. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Peace.